Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for coming back to the podcast. Today, we have a special guest with us, Patty. She is amazing. She does a multitude of things, but one of the special things she does for Notary Babe & Co. is she is the host to the Facebook community, Notary Babe New Jersey. Hi, Patty. Thank you so much for being here. Welcome, welcome. Please introduce yourself.
All right, thank you for having me, Mary. So my name is Pat Gonzalez. I also go by Patty, and I'm the owner of PG Mobile Notary, based out of New Jersey. And I'm also the founder of the Notary Social, which is a community where notaries gather together, not to necessarily talk business, but to kind of get to know each other more personally and build a referral network.
Awesome, awesome. So I do see you post on social media that you do host events. So yeah. That's amazing. That's amazing that you do try to connect with the community like that. But we'll talk about that a little bit towards the end. Right now, let's jump into the questions real quick. So question number 1. Are you ready?
Yes.
Of course. So number 1, what inspired you to become an entrepreneur? And what challenges did you face when starting your own business?
Well, what inspired me was I hit a point of burnout a couple years ago, and I wanted more time freedom and, just more work-life balance. And I just didn't want to have a boss anymore. I didn't want to have to answer to anybody. So that kind of was what, pushed me to become an entrepreneur. The challenge that came with that was, learning to wear many different hats, because being a solopreneur, you're your own accountant, you're your own marketing person, you're your own social media manager, and you're also running your business and you're prospecting. So there were a lot of things that I learned along the way, but it had to become my new normal if I wanted to kind of seek the freedom that I was, looking for and craving. And, I also had to learn that, when you are an entrepreneur / solopreneur, obviously, until you get your business going, if you're not working, you're not making money.
Right.
The difference as a W-2 earner.
Yes. Full timer. And what are you mentioned some of the challenges where you had to wear multiple hats. How did you overcome those challenges?
I really had to kind of just jump on other notary platforms, like people that had other Zooms and podcasts, to kind of hear. Every time I saw something that said, oh, how to market your business and, social media and like all these things, I just kind of jumped on them to really learn. I mean, I went in hard, full throttle. There wasn't gently going into it, because I wanted this so bad. And I gave myself a time frame. I was like, I'm going to give myself 6 months so I can leave my day job, and I'm going to do this full time.
Wow.
Yeah. So I worked my day job during the day, and then I was working my business right after work until sometimes 9, 10 o'clock at night.
Absolutely. Yes. That's how it is in the beginning. Yeah. Absolutely. Okay. So how have you overcome any gender obstacles in the entrepreneurial world? And what advice do you have for other female entrepreneurs facing similar challenges?
Well, fortunately, in my case, I didn't really face those issues. And that's mostly because I've come from backgrounds where they've always been male-dominated environments. Right. And that's always kind of where I thrived. So I transitioned comfortably into different, whatever I fall into, the transition has always been, very easy for me. But I know there are females out there that they do face those challenges, that they don't share similar experiences to myself. So I think the best advice that I can give anyone is really learn your trade and master your skills, because when you become so good at what you do, people just don't ignore you. It's like that gender thing goes out the window. Right. I've had bosses that they wanted me on their team. They felt that I was stronger even than most of the men. Wow. They could walk away knowing that I had everything under control, because I was so good at what I did that I kind of had, break that barrier. And I think that's really what it is. It's just, once you show up for yourself and people know that you know what you're doing, it just makes it so much easier.
Absolutely. Agreed. That's awesome. A great perspective. Okay. Jumping on to number 3. How do you build and maintain a strong network of business contacts, mentors, and advisors? And what role has this network played in your success?
That one was a very hard one for me because I've always been pretty confident, but when I started my business, I started suffering from really bad imposter syndrome. I was just like, very scared, and I just didn't know how to navigate through that, just thinking, are people going to know that I really know what I'm talking about? And so I signed up for a mentorship, so I said, I'm going to invest in myself and I'm going to sign up, in a mentorship. And that really helped me kind of break out of that because the platform has other female entrepreneurs that have also, from different business backgrounds, but they all kind of gone through the same thing. They were going through the same thing. And, I didn't feel alone. Watching other people's journeys kind of made it clear that I had to do this afraid. Like I had to work with the fear instead of against it.
Right.
And then I started networking. I started going to network events and pop-ups and anything that the loan signing system, because I was a loan signing system student, anything that they were hosting, I would just show up. And then I started like emailing people and, sending DMs. And that really kind of helped me build the confidence and get comfortable.
Okay.
And then I started building referral partners from that and getting, generating more business as people got to know me in person. I think it's important to make those in-person connections, which is the reason why I created the Notary Social.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's nice to get off the social platform sometimes and connect with people. You'd be surprised how much you have in common with other people out there, and they can use you. You can just kind of work off each other. You lean on each other.
And talk a little bit more about that. What is that, and how can we find out more about that?
Well, the Notary Social, I just hosted the very first one in last month. And it was kind of cool. We had it at a really nice networking space. I had a waffle bar and everyone kind of came casual, and they brought their business cards because I held a couple of raffles. But it was really nice because everyone kind of sat together and they talked about what they did, what they specialized in, what they were looking to do, what were their fears. Some people didn't talk business. Some people got to connect more personal. They had like common interests, and it's just kind of like a gathering thing. I'm planning on doing it twice a year, so the next one will be in the fall because there is a little work involved.
Yes, absolutely.
And I kind of learned that, but yeah, I think everyone was super happy to kind of meet in person because a lot of us follow each other, whether on Facebook or on Instagram or LinkedIn, and I think it's good either for newer people. Like, it doesn't even matter if you're a notary. Like, we welcome anyone.
Yes.
Because a lot of people, they have questions, and I know sometimes it's hard for them to ask them on social media because they don't want to feel like they don't want to sound stupid or awkward. And I think the social kind of takes that off the table, and you can talk to other people that have, been on the same journey or starting out or seasoned.
True. Well, that's amazing that you do that. And you're right, it does take a lot of work to create an event like that. So I really do hope you do continue with that, and keep us posted, keep me posted, tag me, that way I can share.
Absolutely.
And, that's awesome. So let me see, how do you stay up to date with the latest trends and developments in your industry or industries? And what resources do you use to keep your skills and knowledge sharp?
Okay. Well, I feel being an NNA member is really important because the NNA gives a lot of useful information that's up to date for all the notaries nationwide. So that helps me a lot. And then, like I said before, I do try to participate in any educational Zooms that are hosted by other notaries out there that they're pretty well known. And I'm still part of the LSS, like I have a membership. So Mark Wills continually puts a lot of, he's always dropping gems and always has mentorship Zooms for all different type of things. And that kind of helps me, stay up to date, what's going on in the industry and what's changing, and a lot of tips on how to, work your business better and make better connections so you can continue to grow. And also the states, sometimes New Jersey, I don't know if other states do it, but sometimes different counties, they hold notary seminars. where they kind of review the laws and the expectations. And those are really great to attend because, knowing your state laws are critical.
Right.
You don't want to make a mistake that can cost you to lose your commission, because
True.
once it's gone, it's gone. Yeah, so I just really try to put myself out there. I'm always like searching things online and joining groups, just because everyone always, you get something out of everyone out there. You're always learning something, which is the beauty of this business. That every time you think you know something new comes along, and you pick up another skill, or another good tip that you can use. You can apply.
So you've been doing this for a while now. What are the 3 top tips that you would give to a female entrepreneur starting out her own business, regardless of what field it is? What 3 tips advice would you give her from what you've already learned from your experience?
I would say the main thing is consistency. Because being an entrepreneur, regardless what field you're in, it's like being on a roller coaster. There's going to be highs and lows. So, but if you stay consistent, it definitely pays off. And I know, there's days that you don't want to do the work, but you have to show up for yourself. And
Right.
that consistency is what's going to push you forward. I would also say, just have to be tenacious. Like you just have to, it goes in with consistency, but you have to stay tenacious and keep focused on the bigger picture.
Okay.
Definitely stay focused on the bigger picture. And I guess it goes back to what I said before about doing the work. Out of the consistency, what you're going to build is discipline.
Discipline.
Discipline is what's going to drive you. That's definitely a big one. Because that discipline, even the days that you, like I said, you don't feel like doing the work, maybe you're not a little motivated, the discipline just keeps you centered, and everything falls into place. So definitely, I would say the consistency, the tenacity, and the discipline. Regardless what business you're in, those are the 3 things that I think that will definitely carry you through.
Beautiful, beautiful. And Pat, where can we find you on social media?
I'm mostly on Instagram. So my Instagram handle is PG_mobile notary.
Okay.
And I also have a website, www.pgmobilenotary.com.
Okay, awesome.
And also I'm part of the Notary Babe community on Facebook. So
yes, ma'am, you are.
People can connect with me through there. And I'm super responsive. I respond like lightning speed. Yeah, so always like a phone call or a text or a DM away.
Awesome. Well, that last part, Pat. Thank you so much for offering that help to be a resource, because there's a lot of notaries or female entrepreneurs that really don't know what to do, where to get started, where to go. And for you to offer your time and help like that is just very valuable. So everybody, I encourage you to go follow Pat and send her a DM, say hi, introduce yourself, especially if you're from the New Jersey area, and hang on to where she's going to have that other event, the second event. That way you guys can meet and just create this community, because honestly, just meeting people in person, it just takes it to another level. It's a different type of connection. So any last words, Pat? Any last thoughts before we close it up?
I guess the last thing I would say is, just for any entrepreneur, whether you're a notary, no matter what business you're in, just remember to be kind to yourself. You're doing the best that you can. None of us are perfect, and enjoy the journey. And it's a great journey, because aside from the professional, you also learn a lot of things about yourself personally. So True. It's kind of like professional and personal growth.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, you are so right.
Yeah, I highly recommend just enjoy the process. Rome wasn't built in a day. And, just have fun with your business.
No, you're absolutely right. And with that in mind, thank you so much, Pat, for joining us on the podcast. Hope to have you back again, especially when you launch that other event that you're going to host, and anything that else that's coming up. We'd love to have you back on so that we can broadcast it, let everybody know what's going on. And yeah.
Thank you so much, Mary. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Okay, Pat, thank you so much. And I'm going to go ahead and sign off and the podcast. And thank you so much for coming. Hope to see everybody back on the next one. Bye.
Bye-bye.